Y'all, I am over the moon excited for today's guest. I think the world of this dietitian. I've known her for a while, and every time we chat, she just is full of energy, spice, and everything nice. So welcome to the show, Caroline.
Well, thank you. I don't know if everyone would agree with everything nice. Full disclosure there, but I'm so excited to be here today.
Oh, Caroline, I'm just so excited because every time we've ever hung out with anything dietitian related, I'm just like, man, like she's just like the funnest dietitian I know. Um,
Well, the feeling is mutual. Any dietitian that will sit down and have a glass of Cabernet is a girl after my own heart. So
Oh, we could definitely go down that rabbit hole, but before we go down all of the vineyards that we must go to, I want you to share your story of like how you ended up where you are in your career.
yeah, okay. So I have been practicing. This year is going to be 18 years. I know. I don't know what's going on. Also, note to self, go book a Botox appointment. So I started out my career as a baby dietitian at a healthcare system. I live in Dallas, so a healthcare system here in Dallas, and was doing outpatient diabetes education and weight management, gestational diabetes, things like that. And it was really funny going straight from school to outpatient. I, you know, I joke, like I went from the sorority house to teaching people how to use their food stamps. So it was a very abrupt transition for me. And I'm thankful. I'm a University of Oklahoma graduate. I absolutely love the program. I was in a coordinated program, and I'm still to this day very close with many of my professors. But I'm not going to lie, it was a little abrupt because I didn't feel like I was as prepared. At the time, 20 years ago, when we were doing internships, they were so clinically focused. And so I think not having some of these skill sets, you kind of have to learn as you go, which in corporate wellness, absolutely at the time I was doing all this. So anyway, I was with the healthcare system a year making like zero money, like zero. And Dallas is like keeping
Yeah.
up with the Joneses. I mean, literally the Joneses. But anyway, I pivoted to bariatrics because the pay was a little bit better, and I loved it. I worked for like some really cool surgeons, and at the time this was like mid 2000s, and for those listening, I legit mean that, like 2005. And it was like the wild wild west in bariatrics. Like gastric bypass was just taking off, and like you would go to these conferences and it was like dietitians and doctors and nurses gone wild. It was just insane. Like the whole thing was insanity. But to see a lot of my patients successfully see significant weight loss and maintain that weight loss, it was really exciting. Anyway, life happened, and life took me away from Dallas up to Oklahoma City. And it was there that I got my first taste of corporate wellness. And I was still in the world of bariatrics, but a girl that I was volunteering with, my mom's always been on me about volunteer. You always got to volunteer. Anyway, a girl I was volunteering with worked at an oil and gas company. And again, this is still like the mid 2000s when oil was like $100 a barrel. I mean, these companies had so much money, they like didn't know what to do with it. And at this company that I worked for, I mean, there was a rock climbing wall, a lap pool. There were tanning beds, which is weird that that's in the wellness center, but whatever. Like they had every accommodation to keep their people happy. And the girl I was volunteering with said, "Hey, they had dietitians in HR. So like if an employee got diagnosed with diabetes, that dietitian could help them and help them navigate their benefits. Like how cool is that?" And anyway, they had a prenatal dietitian, a postnatal dietitian, and I know, right? What's happening? Um, they're no longer in business, by the way. Anyway, she reached out because she's like, "Hey, we're going to open an on-site daycare for our employees." And so the dietitian that's kind of running our wellness center, she's going to be in charge of working on the menu and getting all that in line with state regulations, et cetera. So we really need somebody to be available for our employees for one-on-one consults. And so it was really the right place, right time for me. That was my intro. That was 2007, where I first got exposed to corporate wellness. And then flash forward well over a decade, I had done corporate wellness at various employers, various industries, and various sizes. And I would say most recently, I came back to Dallas in 2014, and I was with a healthcare system back where I started. but in their wellness program. And it was funny when I moved back to Dallas, and I didn't have a job when I came back home. I had just looked on their website just to see what was going on. Cause I mean, they're just a great system and they do good work, and they're in like the not so glamorous, I feel like, part of Dallas. And so I just like reached out there and I saw on their website, I'm like, what is this? And they had a wellness program. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. And so I just legit emailed them. I emailed the girl that I thought was running. I was like, hey, I'm Caroline. I'm a dietitian. I used to work for you guys, 7 years, or no, I can't do math, which is why I'm not an inpatient clinical dietitian. But anyway, it's like, I used to work for you guys in 2004 and none of this was here. And I'm here for all of it. Like, I know you're probably not hiring, but here's my resume. And I just like wanted to reach out and say, this is so cool that you're doing this. And anyway, she emailed back, the girl emailed back, and it was the gal that was leading all the wellness initiatives, both for the healthcare system and out, like they sold their wellness program out in the community. And she thanked me for my note and said, you know what, no, we're not hiring right now, but I'll hang on to your resume if anything changes. Yeah, we're really proud of our program. So I just kind of maintained that relationship, and like, like kind of like back when you were dating and you like think someone's cute, you just kind of like check on their social media account or like, hey, what's happening? It's like every now and then, like I'd pop and I'm like, oh, I'm not trying to be annoying, but just want to circle back with you. I think I'm about to take some other positions, but totally wanted to check with you to see if anything was open. I was not taking any positions. Like I was just seeing what was happening. Anyway, she called me back the next day. She goes, you're never going to believe this. The lady that's managing our internal program, her husband's job just transferred him to New York. And so we're actually about to post the position. Would you be interested? And I was like, yes, I am interested. Anyway, so flash forward, I made some great contacts there. And I'm still in touch, honestly, with so many people. A lot of people have moved on, but still close with all of them. But I pivoted. You're like, Caroline, this is the longest career path story ever. After a decade of doing this, and I'm not sure if this is even going to resonate with any dietitians listening to it, but after a decade, I just needed a change. I was like, if I plan, one more challenge or one more program or one more biometric screen event or one more, health and benefits fair, I'm just going to lose it. Like my heart wasn't in it anymore. Right. And here's my theme again, another girl I was volunteering with, because your mom's always right. Another girl I was volunteering with worked at a global consulting firm. And she said, hey, I think we have a position open. I think you should apply. And I just looked at her and thought she was insane. I was like, I've seen you consultants, because being at the healthcare system, I was on our HR team, and these consultants would come in and talk to us about our insurance and our benefit plan design and what we should be offering. And these girls could not have looked more stressed out. First of all, they wore pantyhose, and I'm like, hard pass. Like I'm any job that requires me to be like that dressed up and that conservative is not, I mean, y'all can't see me right now, but I'm still rocking my Uggs from like 2007 today. But I was, and they just look so stressed, and we would get emails from them at like 1:00 in the morning. And I'm like, I feel like I have a good work ethic, but like hard pass. Like, you're wearing pantyhose, you're stressed out, and you're emailing me at 1. No, thank you. And she's like, no. Like, not every firm is like that. Our firm is, we have good work-life balance, and actually you'd be on a specialty team. And I was like, okay, please go on. Like, what is this? And essentially she went on to explain the total health management practice team within the global consulting firm I work for now. And that was 5 years ago. And so here I am. Yes, I absolutely, it's something that I thought I would do for like 2 years and reevaluate my life. It will be 5 years and a couple months. And I lead the firm's nutrition and weight management vertical. I get to work on the biggest names you can imagine. I mean, I can't share logos, but just like, you see them advertise on commercials, whether you're fixing up your home or you all the smart people investing money, like big companies like that, car rental companies, airlines. I mean, the list goes on of how big these logos are. And it's not like, oh, brag, look at who I'm working with. It's just so cool to be a part of a team that can think strategically and provide these strategic recommendations. So I'm coming at it from a lens of like, employee health and well-being and population health, but at that 30,000 foot view. So like, here's all the things that you could do to help make your employees healthier. But then like, I kind of have to walk away because it's their decision to make and what they want to invest in, versus my previous position. I was like boots on the ground. We're planning program design, February's Heart Month, get your red on, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's less boots on the ground and more 30,000 foot view, working with people that are a million times smarter than me, trying to bring innovative solutions to clients, and innovative around tackling and managing chronic conditions, but also innovative solutions around benefits offerings so that they can attract and retain their talent. So that was probably like way more than you ever wanted in Caroline Susie's career path, but that's what's happening.
I have so many questions. By the way, your mom must be brilliant. I'm saying like, you're like, don't give her that.
Take a message of this entire podcast, y'all. Go volunteer, go give.
Yeah. So, okay, because I'm not in the corporate wellness space, and I know a lot of the listeners are like, oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. So, besides volunteering and like getting to know all these great people, yeah, how do you get into this space?
So I think that what's funny, because a lot of times when I'm talking to fellow dietitians, we think very siloed, and we only think like an on-site program coordinator, or we only think of an on-site health coach, or, we really limit ourselves. And so my advice is to think bigger, because corporate wellness is a really broad term. So yes, there are people that are, boots on the ground working for employers, just as I was at the healthcare system. There are people that are doing like one-on-one health coaching and things like that. But there's also a ton of corporate wellness vendors. There are well-being vendors, there's chronic condition prevention vendors, there's chronic condition management vendors. I mean, there are behavioral health vendors. I mean, the whole thing, and dietitians fit perfectly into so many of these solutions, because we understand the clinical data and we understand what cost top drivers are, to where we can take whatever the solution is, whether it's a well-being vendor or a chronic condition prevention vendor, and help give recommendations. So you could be in a sales role, you could be an account management role, just so much that you can do with that. Additionally, if there's positions like mine, by the way, send me your resume. We're probably always hiring. The consulting firms, and all the top firms have dietitians on staff. 100% they do. 100% they
Shut
do.
the front door. Are you serious?
Yes. And we need more. I actually last year recruited, but I really did. There was a dietitian that was at a hunting, fishing, outdoorsy type store. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the name. So like, that's my description of it. And a huge company, employees, just a very big deal. And she'd been there for 7 years. And I'm like, hey girl, hey, are you ready for a change? Because I was there, right? I was like, I think you'd actually like to change seats at the table and come on this side and get to work with even more companies and provide strategic recommendations and things like that. So I think that corporate wellness, I think number one, identify as where on that spectrum, like where are you most interested in? And then to get in, you have to know your audience. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately in school, we weren't, I mean, there's only so many things we can learn, right? We weren't really taught, or I feel we weren't really taught anything about corporate wellness. And my first position, again, was I just had to figure it out. It wasn't like I was searching, Googling corporate wellness on LinkedIn and trying to get a job. Like there weren't a ton of dietitians I felt like like me out there. And I felt like I was like trying to navigate it on my own. And then I feel like by the late 2000s, like 2010, it like really blew up. But I think to get into it is to know which part of corporate wellness on that spectrum you want to get into, and then know your audience. And if it is, I want to be an on-site at a company, then your buyer, the person that's going to hire you, is in HR. So you got to learn HR lingo real quick, sister. You need to learn about their plan. So you need to know, are they with an insurance company? What company are they with? Learn all about that. You need to learn what their high cost claimants are. You need to learn how you can support them. You have to show how you're adding value and how you're going to be an extension of HR and how you're going to make a difference in the employee experience. And I think the only way you can really do that is like stalk that company's website. A lot of times companies put their benefits out there for everyone to see. So like, you just gotta, like when you're dating somebody new and you need to like do your research on them, you get your habit detective and Google so hard, you need to do that with, so that you know who your audience is, so that when you outreach to somebody, you sound educated and you sound like that you're going to make their life easier and take something off their plate, because that's what's going to get you in the door.
So I guess my question is like, okay, I'm researching this company. I want to go and work and be part of their corporate wellness department. I've researched, okay, they're Blue Cross Blue Shield. They're doing this. Their high issue is diabetes. Okay, I know what I can do. What can I actually do?
Yeah, so you have all those. So I think it's showing the value, and I think this is the other thing that I have to say, and I know it pains me to say it. You need to take off your dietitian hat and
Oh.
I know, trust me, you are going to use it though, and put on an HR hat. Because
Mm.
while we all know what dietitians are and we think we are tip top, and don't you ever dare say health coach around us or spell our name with a C. I think that you have to remember, again, your audience doesn't know who our industry, and if they do, they probably think that we're either in a healthcare system or we're doing something more clinical. So I think coming to that employer with a solution, hey, thank you for giving me your OE guide. An OE guide shows all the benefits, and I see that you have X, Y, and Z with Blue Cross. Thank you also for letting me know that your top claimants were diabetes. Have you ever thought about, and then give them some ideas that they can think about. Have you ever thought about bringing somebody on to offer on-site coaching? Have you ever thought about bringing somebody on to help with your cafeteria? Have you ever thought about bringing somebody on to do a 12-week course, and we could advertise this and have it kind of be pre-diabetes or diabetes 101, so that your folks can be better managed? And by the way, I can do all that. I'm a registered licensed dietitian. I understand your plan design. I can remind people of all the benefits that you're covering. So this will be a great referral. I think you have to show how you fit into what is already being offered, and show how you add value and how you're going to save them money.
That's
Hopefully.
amazing. Yeah. I mean, and we all know as dietitians, like, oh, it will definitely save them money if they meet with a registered dietitian, actually do the things.
But
I
the
guess
Academy actually has some good value props on that. So you can go to eatright.org, and it's like, why hire a dietitian, or why do medical nutrition therapy? So like, I feel like leverage what we have if you're Academy member, because then that can be a part of your sales pitch as to why you should hire me.
so. I'm thinking of our listeners, and they're usually ones that are in private practice. Would they be the
Yeah.
ones that are like, oh, I'm just going to go and offer this as a service, as opposed to trying to get one-on-one clients? I'm just going to go
Oh
in and
yeah.
be
Oh my gosh,
really.
strong. Yes. Build up. If you are in private practice, this is just could be another revenue line for you. Having your corporate wellness arm side of the house. So you could put together an a la carte menu and let clients, let business pick if you wanted to do lunch and learns, or if you wanted to do some sort of webinars, or, you could build out that, here, let me put together a health calendar for you. Here's what we're going to focus on every month. Here's going to be campaigns that we're going to run. You could do the whole enchilada. Not everybody might want to buy all that. So some people feel more comfortable, like, hey, we just want to start off with, 5 webinars or whatever it is. I think that absolutely, for dietitians in private practice, could be a wonderful way to increase your
Yeah.
revenue, but also you're still helping people. It's just, you're getting to them via their employer. And hopefully what would be
Interesting.
even better is if the employer covered sessions with a dietitian, and then boom, your business because then you just got some one-on-one, sisters.
Yeah. And I'm thinking like from a technical question. So the
Yeah.
employer, like whatever the big company would be paying you, not the insurance company. You wouldn't be running it through.
Well, sometimes it depends. So I know that
Mm.
I just sound like an attorney when I say it depends. Twofold. So one, if you end up providing any sort of medical nutrition therapy, yeah, that could run as a claim. And by the way, a lot of businesses love when things run as a claim, because that means they quote unquote don't have to pay for it, which, yeah, they're paying for it, by the way. They're just not paying for it via invoice. It's showing up on their medical. So 6 of one, half a dozen the other, but people really prefer if it runs on a claim. So that the second thing I would tell private practice dietitians that are considering getting into the space is a lot of insurance companies, like we just referenced Blue Cross Blue Shield, when they negotiate, it's still a business, you guys, and that's another podcast for another
Oh,
podcast,
yes.
another time. That they want to give the best, obviously, network discounts. They want to do everything they can to maintain the business that they have with this company, right? A lot of times these contracts are good for usually 3 years, and then the client will go out to the market to, well, what's Cigna doing? What's Aetna doing? What's United Healthcare doing? And see who's going to give them the best. One of the things that they do is they'll throw in these wellness credits. So like usually annually clients will get like 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. It just depends how big the customer is and what all they have going on, but they'll get these annual wellness credits. And those wellness credits can be used for you. They can be used to offset your fees for possibly holding lunch and learns. They can be used to offset your fee of the diabetes program you're proposing. So when you reach out to these people outside of learning the language that they speak and all the things that we just talked about, reminding them that, hey, you probably have some wellness credits that are on the table, and they always expire. If they always expire at the end of the plan year, most plan years do run calendar year. So what breaks my heart is when it's December and somebody realizes they have 10 grand and they have to spend it by the end of December. So like, yeah. So, nobody wants that money to go to waste. The client doesn't want that money to go to waste. The carrier might, but so I think that you could get paid from the insurance company either via wellness credits, carrier credits, as we call them, or be reimbursed if you are offering medical nutrition therapy one-on-one.
My brain is just like, I have so many questions. This is like a million times outside my scope. I'm like, I can talk eating disorders, but like this is amazing.
But it is amazing, and I you're hearing it here first, folks. I'm going to be putting together like a guide, some sort of guide to help dietitians do this, because I feel like I've been on the inside so long that I need to share the secrets, because I'm not doing it. Like, I'm not financially benefiting from this, but I want my friends to. There needs to be more dietitians. We are not competitors, you guys. Like, there's not enough of us. And I just can't echo that enough. Like, I don't know, there's no competition here because there's not enough of us. And so the more that we can get in this industry and the more that we can get in employers doing things like this, the better, because it genuinely is. It's the right thing for the public because we know our stuff.
Oh, so much. And like you said, we should be the ones in there as opposed to health coaches and all the other things. So yep. I love this. Oh my gosh. Like, I'm like, I don't even know the questions to be asking. Usually I'm like, oh yeah, I could ask these questions all the time. But like, so as far as kind of an action item for somebody that's thinking about getting into corporate wellness, it's stalking that company, stalking the HR person, learning their lingo.
Or if you want to do on the other side of the house, like you're like, I don't want to do be that person, boots on the ground, then you have to broaden your search terms on LinkedIn. The most limiting thing that you can do is search dietitian. And I know, again, let's all just take a moment of silence and shed a tear for our but the best thing you can do for yourself is broaden that search. So wellness coach, health coach, you know what I mean? Like thinking bigger search terms to pull up wellness account management, or you know what I mean? Like all of those type of things, because that's going to open the door. The other thing that I would do is just Google diabetes, corporate wellness, diabetes prevention programs, or corporate wellness weight loss programs, or you know what I mean? Like corporate wellness vendors or something like that. You can just get a whole list. I mean, y'all, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of them out there. They are not hard to find, and go to their website and say like, all right, who's hiring? Because we do offer a different skill set because we are a clinician, but you can train me. Like, if you have that outgoing personality where you like to talk to people and be in front of people, like that's what's hard to train. Mm-hmm. Right. But they can tell you about their product, like easy peasy, but to get a personality, and like, so if that's something you want to do, oh my gosh. And people, I mean, you can email me directly and I can help you out. And that's something, go to my LinkedIn. This is something else I want to say about LinkedIn is every job that I've had, I paint myself as a different dietitian on LinkedIn. So the position that I'm in now is I'm a consultant. So when you read my bio on LinkedIn, it says I'm a dietitian because I'm super proud of that, but you'll see how it is definitely tailored to like population health management, if you will, and like helping, yeah, like it's all wordsmith. And you know what? It's all baloney because like it's just it's all how you paint yourself. And
Yeah.
so if you you know, we all, you have to just think in your own personal story, like how have you built your brand? What skill set do you have that might not look like sales, but it is sales? So like in
Ooh.
my previous position
It,
at the healthcare system, I was selling my wellness program. How many people got signed up? I was selling it out in the community. So it's all of those type of things of how can I say that I have this skill set? And it's
mm.
not lying. I'm not lying, people, but it's thinking back to your experience as a dietitian and where have you built your brand? Where have you done sales? Where have you you know, examples of thinking strategically to bring solutions to people. So it's yeah, go hit up my LinkedIn. You'll see how I did it, and then you'll start laughing after hearing this. But I recommend that because if you apply to a position, and that's the other thing, get your resume like in the condition, know your audience,
Mm.
so get your resume position. And again, if you need help with that, there's lots of people that offer that service. But the first thing they're going to do is probably go to your LinkedIn page. So check, you know, got to be on top of it and look the part. It's like when you're playing tennis, you might be the worst player in the world, but if you have on a tennis skirt, like someone might take you seriously. So that's the strategy here.
Just put a tennis skirt on your resume and LinkedIn, you'd be fabulous.
Boom, boom. Because you'll get the interview. And that's the thing that I'm just trying to help dietitians get the interview. Once you get the interview, it's up to you to sell yourself and to show that value. And I think the value add of being a dietitian, is a dietitian required for the position? No, but that's what's going to get you the job because you have a whole other skill set that the competition doesn't.
Oh, totally. Holy hell, Caroline. This is just amazing. You are blowing my mind about corporate wellness. I was like, I knew I needed to talk to Caroline. I knew she just has so much to share about corporate wellness because it's a budding industry. And I think it's going to, and budding in my world, it's definitely not a budding in your world, but I think it's budding in the sense that I'm getting more and more people asking about it. And
Yeah.
so I am just so excited for you to create this cheat sheet eventually.
It's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming. I need a little kick in the pants from you.
Well, you've said it publicly, so now we expect it. So
Yep. I know this is accountability. This is
yes.
going live. I'm going to get it up there.
Yeah.
But no,
So,
I genuinely mean it. Like, I think that everybody could use a little help in this area just because we weren't taught it. And unless you're in it, how do you know? And like, what is going to, like, what's going to stick to what you're just like throw spaghetti and hope something sticks. Right. So,
oh yeah, I have tried to get into corporate wellness for years and zero luck because again, I was like, oh, I didn't think it ever was profitable or anything. And like, oh, wellness credits, that's
yeah, an
golden.
extra $10,000. Yes, please. You and I
And
would then
that,
be going to Napa.
yes. Oh my gosh. Very true. Well, Caroline, I feel like we could talk even more about corporate wellness. Is there any other things that we need to know to kind of start this journey, or it's just really getting to know where we're wanting to go next?
Both. I think that there's a few DPGs that have corporate wellness subunit groups. The weight management group, the cardiovascular, they formerly were SCAN and then they split in two. And then I think there still could be some corporate wellness folks over and nutrition entrepreneurs. So those three DPGs, I would definitely head up because there's a lot of seasoned dietitians out there that want to help people, love helping people, love mentoring people. So I would consider, I think those are good dollars. It's good to build your network. So I'm a pro practice group kind of a gal. So that would be one. And then I think it's just really knowing what resonates most with you. Where do you want to fall in that corporate wellness spectrum? And then you can go from there.
And then, of course, the words of wisdom from your mom, just volunteer.
People know people. People know people, you guys. It's the best way to get a job.
It truly is. It's the best. Well, Caroline, how can we continue to follow you, learn from you, and find this cheat sheet eventually when it's created?
Oh my gosh, you're the best. So I'm pretty active on Instagram. I'm at Caroline Susie RD. And then my website is carolinesusierd.com.
Awesome. We'll put all of those links in our show notes. Caroline, this has been like, I couldn't even take notes because I was just like trying to absorb everything. I'm going to have to go back and take notes. We're going to have to go out for wine so I get to learn more.